Yeah, the most interesting one is definitely Taproot, and that gives us a lot more privacy on chain, which I think will be very interesting. Right now, you have two types, both in SegWit and non-SegWit. You have pay to pub key hash, and you have pay to script hash. One is like one is just a single key, one's more complicated. Same thing in SegWit, you have single key or pay to witness pub key hash and pay to witness script hash. And there's a clear separation between those. There's a single key case and there's a more complex case. What Taproot does is it merges those two and gives you privacy, and no one knows whether or not it's one or the other. So that's coming. It's taking longer than I think I anticipated, in part because Peter changed a few things like a couple of months ago. Instead of squared numbers, I think he went with even or something like that. And these things all need to be reviewed again. And a lot of the previous review has to be done over again because of these sort of fundamental changes that he made to the protocol. So, but that's a giant win once we get it. And I mean, it'll be up to wallet developers and such to actually take advantage of a lot of that. So, for example,
Sure.
you can have something really simple like, I have I have some bitcoins locked to my private key. But say I want with Taproot, what you can do is say, okay, just in case I lose that key, I'm going to set it up so that 5 of my friends, if 3 of them agree, they can give those coins back to me in case I lose my private key. And that could be a perfectly valid backup solution. And you get that essentially for free using Taproot. You're not paying any sort of penalty for that. Right now, what you have to do is have a pretty complicated script. And put that into like a pay to witness script hash, for example, and you're paying for that in terms of block space. But with Taproot, if you don't, the only time you pay for it is when you use that particular path, when you're actually redeeming it in that way. If I spend as normal, nobody's the wiser. Nobody even knows that there's a backup. But with Taproot, that gives us that sort of free ability, which I think would be very useful for the entire community. Of course, it depends on software implementing it correctly and so on, which is not trivial. And like, the UI around like getting 5 of your friends, XPub keys is not trivial either. But it's possible, and those are the kinds of abilities that we're baking into the protocol that I think will be really, really cool.